And my other question has to do with influenza. Universal influenza vaccine has been in the works for a while, but there's recently a clinical trial started by NIH. I know there's other researchers who are working down the road from you at Texas Biomedical Institute in San Antonio looking into universal flu vaccines. What are some of the advantages of ultimately getting that vaccine approved and done?
I will say it's really exciting to work down the street from Texas Biomed because it does really feel like we're on the cutting edge of a lot of new technology. For flu vaccination, our current situation is we get a new flu vaccination formula every year, and that is based on a very educated guess about what strains are going to be circulating. And so that means that every year we have slightly different vaccine efficacy against whatever is circulating in the real world. And sometimes there are surprises. So it would be amazing to be able to have a universal flu vaccine that covered the water of potential flu strains and gave us protection. However, flu is very good at rearranging itself. So we'll definitely need the same continued vigilance that we talked about for COVID and for RSV.
Right.
And unfortunately, a universal vaccine doesn't mean we won't have seasonal flu and that it can't escape like it did in 1918. But it would be amazing to have a vaccine that was reliable over years.
Very good. So before we close, I'll give you one more chance to predict the future. Let me know if you think, what do you think are some of the advances in respiratory pathogen prevention or therapy that you really hope we have in our lifetime to see?
So I put these things in sort of two categories, and I am going to attempt to predict the future. So again, all the caveats. I think probably the most important thing we need is to make sure that when we have new vaccines or preventative modalities like the amazing wealth that we have right now, is to make sure that they can get to people who need them most. And that is an advance in and of itself. So folks who are living in crowded settings, folks who are incarcerated, long-term care facilities, if you think about this specific indication for the monoclonal antibody and nirsevimab for American Indian or Alaskan Native populations, are we doing the appropriate outreach and confronting all of the misinformation that you mentioned to make sure that communities who most need these modalities have access? Are we working on structural barriers like cost and delivery? And that's important not just in the United States, but globally. If we want to save 1 million hospitalizations from RSV, then we have to get the shots out to 1 million potential people who need them. So more than 1 million, sorry. And so COVID demonstrated how quickly a respiratory virus can sweep across our globe, and also how important it is that we pay attention not just to what's happening in the United States, but what's happening globally and how important equity is. So that's one sort of bucket of things.
Absolutely.
The other bucket is the amazing new technology bucket. And there's much more to come, I think, in terms of scientific advances. There are going to be more monoclonal antibodies, both for treatment and prevention. That's really exciting because I'm all for prevention, like I mentioned.
Right.
I am very pro public health, but we definitely need more options for RSV treatment. It would have been amazing for me to be able to treat my patient in the hospital a couple of weeks ago with something that would have reduced her duration of infection or her symptoms. And there are many more vaccines in the pathway for RSV. I would expect that we'll see some expansion of indications. Like right now, we have 60 and over and pregnant people. My guess is that there will be more to come in all of these modalities.